Hi, I'm Sarah. Happy Friday, you guys. It's time for a BB23 live feed update with our new HOH, all of his plans, everything he's been talking about today, last night, his one-on-ones. Let's get into it. But first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Please, it helps the channel. Well, last night we had our first endurance comp. We had a wall. We had the wall. And as I think most of us predicted, Derek X won it. We know he's good at comps and he's physically built for the wall. Odds were high. He was going to get it. And our little boy did it. He did it. And he is willing to do a big backdoor plan. He's been worried about Mr. Christian ever since they played veto last week, and Derek was gunning for it, and Christian beat him. And that really was spinning around in Derek's head that he really can't necessarily beat Christian, and that Christian is dangerous and should go. So that is where his head is at. They are still talking. They have not broken for noms yet, but we have sealed his plan. He was going back and forth a little bit, so I'm keeping an eye on things. But the plan is he is going to backdoor Christian by nominating Brittany and Sarah Beth. And we looped around to get there a little bit, but that is where we are. So noms later will be Brittany and Sarah Beth. Sarah Beth has no idea about this, but Derek X did just kind of hint at it to Kyland, and Kyland agreed that makes sense for Derek's game, said not for my game, but I get it for your game. So he has permission from Kyland, basically. He has permission from Brittany. Yeah, it's been a full day, right? My brain is a bit fried. He started early. He's been going nonstop, but I'm loving Derek X in the way that he thinks. So at least that's fun. Yeah, Kai's been fighting for it for a while, but he did just say, yeah, I get it. It makes sense for your game. So let's back up a little bit. Okay. So last night, they were on the wall. It was down to Alyssa X and Derek X. And Alyssa was trying to get Derek X to drop. She wanted to win. She knew if Derek X dropped, she could get Xavier to drop. But he didn't drop. He knew she was, or at least he said, he was like, she was not able to hang on. Like he knew she was really struggling. So she did drop, but he did say, I will not put you up, Alyssa. So he made a promise to Alyssa not to put her up, and he made a promise to Xavier that he wouldn't put Xavier up. And then he won the wall. So far, he is trying to be loyal to those deals that he made. And then he started his conversations last night. It was funny last night. Ooh, Tiffany just got to the HOH. I was like, girl, why are you waiting and letting Kylan talk to Derek for so long? Kylan's been up there for like almost an hour now as a second one-on-one. Circle back. And Tiffany just letting him. Real dangerous. But it looks like she's eyeing it now. Okay, so last night, it was very cute because it was obviously Tiffany, Kyland, and Hannah all sort of like vying for who's controlling this HOH. Everyone was so excited. Derek X won, but those three were acting like it was also their HOH. And there's a little battle between Kylan and Tiffany happening, like Hannah's basically surrendered. It got real awkward today. We'll get into that too. But there's definitely a battle of wills here between Kylan and Tiffany on who is going to control Derek the most. But last night, Tiffany won that battle and sat up with Derek for a really long time. They love to get the chessboard out, talk through all the scenarios. And she had really convinced him to stick to 2 jokers. Like, she was not even like, don't even worry about Sarah Beth. Like, don't put Sarah Beth up. It needs to be 2 jokers, Brittany and either Derek F or Azah. And Derek X, HOH, made it clear that he feels good with Azah, that they have a great personal relationship and he wouldn't want to ruin that. So it would have to be Brittany and Derek F, Big D, as of last night. Oh, Tiffany just got in the HOH room. Okay. I wonder if we're going to get any change here. But she's going to be okay with Sarah Beth going up. But her plan was 2 jokers. Oh, she doesn't look happy, though. She's probably telling him, you need to do what you want to do. Don't listen to Kylan. Oh, she's loudly complaining that they haven't had a one-on-one because they haven't today. They had it last night. And she was like, this is a cover that I need to have a one-on-one. Okay. So that was the plan as of last night. Like, she was like, just talk to the jokers, explain that you have a backdoor plan in action here and that you need their help to go up as pawns. And okay, they're leaving the HOH now. She was like, so that they don't get mad at you, because Derek X is like, really wants to make this big move, but doesn't want a lot of blowback. Doesn't want like, hey, I'm going to make this big move this week, and then multiple people are coming after me next week. Like, that's really his concern, and he's trying to figure that out. Oh, yay. He was called to the DR. Yes, let's go. Let's get these noms a-going. No, I haven't seen any of her interviews. I don't jump on the interviews if they're not big game players. It'll be a while before I check in on Whitney's interviews. Okay, that's it. Feeds are down. We got kittens. Noms are happening. So plan was Brittany and probably Derek F, because he feels close to Azah, to backdoor Christian. And then this morning, bright and early, he hops up and he's ready for one-on-ones. He's got candy laid out. He has 6 questions. 2 of them are 2-parters, so kind of 8 questions. And he has different pieces of candy laid out. I tweeted all these images. They're very cute. If you follow me on Twitter at Sarah Big Brother. To remind him of his questions. So the most important ones were like, have you heard my name? Who do you feel threatened by? Who do you want safe this week? And then usually takes about an hour, David. Noms usually take about an hour. The other kind of semi-important question was, he basically was setting up like, if I were to keep you safe this week, if I don't nominate you, is there something like that you would want to? He was basically like, do you want to make a deal? But he didn't use the word deal. He was just like, is there something we'd want to do down the road kind of thing? Like, he kind of teed that up. And that actually turned out to play a big, important role in this. So let's see. Claire, they talk. They're already close. Kylan and DX's first one-on-one was a little awkward. Like, no mention of Sarah Beth, except that Kylan was like, I want her to be safe. A lot didn't happen there. Oh my gosh, when Alyssa had her one-on-one, this was so funny. Normal conversation. Great. She's really pushing like, Joker's got to go, whatever. Royal flush. We're so safe. and comfortable with the royal flush, just like normal stuff. And then when he said, who would you have nominated, or like, who would you go after or whatever, she said, Hannah. I mean, no, I didn't mean to say that. You guys, 100%, she said, Hannah. No, I didn't mean that. And then she like went on, and he was like, yeah, no, cool. But she literally did it. It was woof. Christian gets in there and he's like, well, royal flush, we feel comfortable. We're all good. We're shields for each other. Yo, we're good. But Christian didn't bite on the offer. Like, do you want to work down the, like, Christian really should have said, yeah, dude, you and I to like final four, like say something. Yeah, I'll pull you off with veto, like make some sort of deal with him there. And Christian just like let it go. He was just like, yeah, we're good. We're cool. All good. I think that was a misstep there, because Christian could have probably worked his way out of it. Right? Hilarious. Then Sarah Beth comes in and she kind of does the same thing. She doesn't bite when he says, is there something we could do down the road? And I think this was another missed opportunity where she was just like, yeah, I feel, she did say like, I feel like I'm on the bottom of the kings and I feel like I was the bottom of the queens. So I'm at the bottom of the royal flush. Like, I don't feel great in there. It does behoove me to work with you. She did sort of allude to like, yeah, I'm good with you. But again, she should have said like, yeah, I want to go to final three with you and Kyland or something like that. Like, she should have offered up a deal. She did not. So let's fast forward to Derek Frazier, because Derek Frazier did jump on this. And when Derek X brought up like, if I keep you safe, because Derek X had already sort of alluded to like, you might be a pawn. And he was like, oh, it's not good for a guy to go up as a pawn. We got to get these women out. Like, not good to even like mess around with me. I've got a good social game. If someone wanted to take me out, that's just dangerous. And when he said like, well, if I do keep you safe, what could we do down the road? Derek did jump on that. And he was like, absolutely. What do you want from me? Let's make a deal. What do you want from me? And I'll give it to you. Derek X thought about it. And I mean, obviously he can't be like, well, if you win, keep me safe. Because hello, Derek Frazier's not going to win anything. But he said, look, I'm worried I'm going to be in danger. If I make a big move this week, I'm going to be in danger down the road. Can I get your vote? Can you promise me that you'll vote to keep me when I'm in danger? Derek Frazier's like, absolutely. He says, absolutely, I will. And I will work on swaying all the votes. I will sway the votes in your favor when you're in danger. Like, he was more than willing to offer up whatever was necessary. And that is the moment that Derek X switched his noms to Sarah Beth and Brittany, because Derek Frazier was willing to make a deal there. We should also note that when he talked to Brittany, she agreed to be a pawn. And then he circled back with her, brought her back up a second time, and really talked to her about being a pawn. And she was like totally okay with it. She was like, she's like, if you have, because he's not telling everyone his big plan, but he's like saying, I've got a big plan. He's alluding to, which, hello, she made a final two with Christian last week. I don't know why she'd be on board with this plan. Maybe she doesn't know what he means by a big plan. But she's like, if you are willing to do this big plan, she's like, that helps my game. So I'm here for you. I will be your pawn. I will act like I had no idea. She's like, can I pull myself down if I win veto? He's like, yes, of course. Absolutely. Yeah. And she's like, cool. I had a big hand in this big move. Like, she's so on board with it. He did ask, like, is there anyone you'd feel super comfortable sitting next to on the block? And she said, well, She was like, well, any guy or any king, maybe? And so I think that also helped him be like, okay, if I sit her next to Sarah Beth, she'll feel better about being a pawn. So that sort of worked along with what he was wanting. I also think that his conversation with Azza was really important because he'd already established like they're good friends. They have a great personal relationship. But when he got to that, like, if I keep you safe this week, anything you want to do down the road, she jumped on it. She was like, yes, I would love to work with you. I love you. You and I are great together. Let's make a deal. She said the word deal. And he said, yeah, you want to make a deal? She said, yeah, let's do it. What do we want to make? They decided that they would do it in increments. It started like with just a 2-week deal. But they decided they would do 2 weeks of not putting either one on the block. And then the next 2 weeks, so 4 weeks of keeping each other safe. But those following 2 weeks, maybe they have to go up as a pawn or something. But 4 weeks of safety, basically. And they hugged it out and it was very cute. And so he feels even better about his relationship with Azza. She feels better about her relationship with him. So that went really, really well as well. So that is sort of how it came together that he moved off of Brittany and Derek Frazier, which I honestly, for a minute, was like, I just want to see Derek Frazier on the block. How fun was that? That was going to be so much fun. Oh, well. Okay. So we moved off of that and we got Brittany and Sarah Beth will be the noms in roughly a half an hour when the feeds come back. That is it. Another reason he's doing this is because oh God, we got to talk about Hannah. Remind me to talk about Hannah in just a second. So one of the things that Hannah mentioned last night after Tiffany was pushing the 2 jokers as a noms idea instead of Sarah Beth, Hannah was like, but what if Christian wins veto? What if Christian gets some sort of power? What if somehow Christian is safe and you can't get him out? Are you just going to waste your HOH on Brittany? And I think that at first Derek was like, sure. Is that a waste? But the fact that Hannah was like, yeah, that's a waste. He then was like, okay, so if I can't get Christian out, I still get a king out. Sarah Beth being plan B. So that's another way. Like he said, ultimately, my goal this week is that a king goes because we're heading into jury. We don't want all 4 kings in the jury. Don't know how they're going to vote, that kind of stuff. So Sarah Beth basically is plan B if Christian somehow is safe, wins veto or whatever. Okay, let's talk about Derek X and Hannah. You guys, if you're a shipper, I'm sorry. Get the tissue out. This is going to be a hard conversation. He's just not that into her. It is not. It's been clear from the beginning that she was into him, but not necessarily he's into her. But they were teammates. They talked a lot. He's, kind and friendly with her. But last night, okay, well, now we have to back up. Before I get into, there's more. Now, remind me next, we have to talk about the royal flush. Okay, but last night, when he and Tiffany were doing their chessboard of like who they're close to, who they want to like get rid of and move forward with and all that stuff. Don't do it. Wait, is your edit for you and Derek X? Because do that one. That I love. But if it's between Hannah and Derek X, let it go. It's not good. Derek X said to Tiffany last night, I don't know how far I want to go with Hannah. And of course, Tiffany's like, what? My baby girl, what? I mean, that was just inside. She didn't say it outside, but she was like, whoa, why? And he like had a whole long list of reasons that he doesn't care for Hannah's game. He said she's a bit emotional. She makes some emotional decisions over strategic decisions. He had very specific moments. He was like, week 1, when I said this to her, she just assumed this. And he's just pointing out bad reads, basically. He was like, no, obviously it's because of this thing. Or, you know, I don't know if anyone clipped it, but he had a whole long list of like, and then when this happened, she just assumed that these people weren't working together when they obviously were working together. So he just obviously is not liking her game, or he's just seeing like that she's just not. And honestly, don't hate me, Hannah stans, but it's true. Hannah has not had great reads in this house. She has been sitting there thinking she was so safe that she should throw competitions, thinking that there aren't a lot of alliances happening, that she knew all the people who were working together when she did not. And so he and I are picking up on the same things here, but it was just like very scary to hear him saying it to Tiffany, because we know how much Tiffany loves her. But it didn't like go anywhere last night, other than he just like expressed that he doesn't necessarily want to take her all the way. I mean, Tiffany's not taking him all the way. He's not in the cookout. Hannah's going farther than he is, probably. But that was what he said last night. Then this morning, Hannah was really annoyed because she found out about the royal flush last night. Tiffany messed up. Tiffany did one of these, like, I'm going to rush in. Hannah and Derek X are sitting together. She's like, I'm going to rush in real quick and just tell you, you know, X is saying something about the Kings. And she said royal flush like 14 times in 3 minutes, where she's like, real quick, I just got to tell you the royal flush and the royal flush, and Alyssa and Christian and the Kings and the royal flush and the royal flush and the royal flush. And then she like rushes out. She's like, I don't want to get caught, you know, talking to you or whatever. And Hannah like heard that the whole time, right? And so then Derek just is like, whatever he said back. And Hannah's like, so who's in the royal flush? Derek was like, wait, what? Derek didn't even realize what Tiffany was doing either. He was like, well, what? And she was like, she just said royal flush several times. What is the royal flush? And so he had to be like, okay, it's the Kings and the Queens plus me. And he was super vague about it, obviously. And she was like, did Christian and Alyssa do this? Is this when they wanted to put me on the block? Like they formed this with you? And he's like, I don't know who, I don't know. They just like brought me into it. Like, I don't know. Super, super vague. He's like, it's not real. It's not real. It's a cover, you know, just like brushing it off. And she's like, okay. A little bit later, she tracks Tiffany down and she was like, so what's this about the royal flush? And Tiffany was like, oh, did Derek tell you about that? And she was like, no, you did. You just said it like 14 times over there. And Tiffany was like, oh my gosh. She didn't even realize she was like, oh my God, I can't believe she's like, and then she starts to like, sort of like get nervous. She's like, no, it's, no, I don't know. It's so big. It's not real. It's not whatever. And she blamed, because Hannah's like, it was Christian and Alyssa that she did it. And Tiffany's like, no. She's like, no, it was Kylan and Xavier. When they were HOHs back to back, they put their two teams together. She was like, that's what it was. And we just needed, we didn't have 4 people on our team. So we just like brought Derek X in, nothing to do with you. Don't even worry about it. Nothing, not real. It was those guys. Totally blamed it on them, which if you guys don't remember, Tiffany is the one who created it. But of course she's not going to tell Hannah that. David asks, is it possible Tiffany did that on purpose? And she was so flustered Did not realize she said that. Then later, after she talked to Hannah about it, she went to the core room to talk to us through the camera and was like, I can't believe I did that. She was like, I am so close with Hannah. Hannah's in so many things with me. She's like, I just forgot that Hannah wasn't in the royal flush. She's like, I just messed up. So this morning, I think, a night of sitting with this, Hannah was a little annoyed and feisty about it. She talked to us through the camera that she's very frustrated with Derek about this and doesn't feel like he respects her game, which is true. And she was annoyed about the royal flush. And then she didn't get to have a one-on-one till like late in the day. And she goes in there, and I tweeted out a photo of their body language. It was awkward. It wasn't good, guys. There is not much going on between these two. She was like, so can we talk about like your plan and like your ideas? Can I help you? And he was like, I don't really want to answer questions. Like, I don't really want to say much. And she's like, okay, all right. Well, I can be helpful and I do have skills. And he's like, yeah. Maybe win veto. He's like, but don't win veto. Cause he's like, I'd rather Kylan get the blood on his hands or like the comp win on his back to make him also a big threat. So like, don't win veto. And she's like, I can offer help. And he's like, yeah. I mean, he was like, not even looking at her. He was like this. She's over here. He's just like this, giving her nothing. He is like, he went from, I'm just not that into you to like actively pulling away from her. Maybe he's worried because he's HOH and she was like, oh, so I'm HOH at first. And he was like, like, do not put us as a duo. Do not put us as a showmance. Do not be the Alyssa to my Christian. He really like kind of did a Heisman to Hannah today. Hello there. Damn, did DX switch up on Hannah after you won HOH? It really, I mean, he's been giving us the signs that he's not into her, like not showmancy. But yeah, he definitely, once he became a HOH, was like, I don't want you to also be HOH with me. Like, we're not going to get closer here. He really like went to Tiffany instead. Yeah. The honeymoon is over. Yeah. Yep. You want to see Hannah be the one to cut DX? I think that would be great TV. That would be funny TV if we get some edits here of her just being like, okay, you're not respecting my game. But she's got the numbers, not him. He's in with Tiffany and Tiffany likes him and would like him to go far, but she wanted Christian to go far too. And look, she's already willing to lose Christian this week. Hannah's the one protected by the cookout. So, but DX doesn't have this information. Oops, sorry. Yeah, she walked away saying, I'm not stupid, Derek. She's like, you've been joking around, but now I'm starting to think you believe it. That's another clue that like he wasn't that into her, is that he kind of jokes with her about her flaws, for lack of a better word. Like, he points out that she doesn't have great reads and she laughs along like it's funny, but now she's like, oh, I think you were actually being serious. So Hannah pulling a BB7 Janelle, evicting Derek X. It might happen. It might happen. Okay, yes. Hello there. If Brittany and SB go on the block, the aftermath will be an emotional mess. Well, it will be interesting to see because, like I said earlier, Brittany is 100% on board with this. She did not fight it like she has in the past. She offered up. She said, yes, I will be a pawn for you. She talked to Derek X about it for like a half an hour. And she said that she feels good about having a hand in this backdoor plan, even though she doesn't have all the details. He promised her that plan A, keeps her safe. Plan B keeps her safe. Like in no way is she in danger. And she said, cool. She said, I can't believe I'm saying this, but cool, let's go. So if we do see any tears or emotion from Brittany, that's all show. She is on board for this. But Sarah Beth does not have a clue. And Kyland was just clued in. So hopefully Kyland went to Sarah Beth and maybe gave her a heads up to soften the blow. But that one might be more fun. Sarah Beth, she's a fiery Leo. Her birthday's in a couple days. And that one might be entertaining. Yes, Hayden, thank you for bringing this up. Can we talk about Claire completely putting the cookout together? She is so close, you guys. She is so close. In her one-on-one with Derek X this morning, she revealed that X is someone that she's worried about, that she doesn't talk a lot of game with him. She's not super close with him. So he's kind of on her radar. And then she said, I see him talk to Tiffany. He's close to Kyland. He's close to Hannah. She then proceeded to list all of the cookout. She didn't say anything about, like, I think all of them are working together. She just said to Derek, I see him talk to Tiffany. He's close with Hannah. He's close with Kyland. He's close with Big D. And he is close with Azza. She just listed it. And that's it. She didn't list anybody else. And she said, I don't know if he's talking to anybody else. I don't know if he's really close and talking to you. She's like, but he's not talking to me. And that's what I'm seeing. And I was like, oh, put it together. All of them. X is close with all of them. And do you see any of the other ones close with anybody else? Could they all be connected together? I can't do it with one hand. It's got to be two hands. It would have been awesome if Derek X had like really picked up on that and they ran with it. That's my only hope, is that Claire and Derek X put it together somehow and can shake it up. But like, she's so close, but not fully there. And I don't know if they can get there. I don't know. I mean, the thing about Claire is she is really observant. She has been able to clock just about all of the relationships in the house. So, I have a feeling she's gonna get there. And that's part of why Tiffany is okay with Claire leaving early, because she knows that Claire can figure it out. Dolores, does DX know about the cookout? No, he does not. Nobody outside of the cookout knows about it, which I thought was funny, because when Hannah got so mad that Tiffany and Derek X were in this royal flush and didn't know about it, I was kind of like, well, have you told Derek X about the cookout? No. So I don't know. Kind of fair. You know something he doesn't. He knew something she didn't. But I do like that a little fire is under Hannah's butt. Like I said earlier, she's been sitting back, playing this like, I don't need to do anything. I'm safe. I know, she kind of thinks like the things I'm in are the only alliances going on. Completely incorrect. So now she's like, oh, I don't know all of the things that are happening. My own allies are in other alliances that I don't even know about. And I was just on the block. Like, now I do need to gun for HOH. So that's the upside of all this. Hannah is finally ready to play the game, and that's great. No, the noms are happening right now. The feeds are down for the noms. The plan is to backdoor Christian, ideally. So his original noms will be Brittany and Sarah Beth. Again, Brittany is okay with this. She's in on the plan. Sarah Beth does not know about it. If for some reason they can't get Christian out, Sarah Beth is plan B. You were waiting for someone to mention it in their goodbye message. Are you saying the cookout? It doesn't seem like producers are ready to reveal that yet. So even if they do say it in their goodbye message, producers have the choice of whether we get to see that or not. I would love a Claire HOH. Would love it. Because Claire was safe this week, she did not need to win HOH. She did not feel like she should win it. So she did not. Steve says Claire and Derek X can take on the cookout if they found out about it, like now. If they found out about it and had enough numbers or ability to break it up. But like if they find out about it being the last two non-members of the cookout, they don't have the ability to do anything about it. You know what I mean? So they got to figure it out soon. If we could have like run into something last week where Whitney had one veto and they put Azza up and had like Azza next to Hannah, and then there were more clues about like, oh crap, who's protecting who, then maybe. But there hasn't been any of those moments to really like clue the Claires and the Derek X's in, other than like seeing the relationships. They're not getting any like major clues. Why does Claire want Derek F out? I don't think he's a threat. So Claire has expressed that she sees Derek Frazier as a threat because he's the perfect goat. And there are two philosophies about goats, right? So a goat is someone that you drag along to the end who will clearly get no votes and you win easily next to them. And some people want to take those people to the end. Like Hannah, for instance, she was the one who had this conversation with Claire. Hannah says, I'm dragging Derek Frazier to the end. I can easily beat him. Claire says, everyone's going to think that. Therefore, he's got to go because he's potentially taking my spot in the end. So that's just her philosophy on goats. You get them out so that they don't sneak in and take your spot. Good point, Maureen. Who said before she's evicted? Don't put that in the universe. We got to keep Claire in. I do love watching Claire. She's got some really great insights. She is fun to watch her brain work. Yes, Ben. Hashtag protect Claire at all costs. Agree. Ooh, Mason. Yes, let's talk about the new twist. I hope the new twist will do some damage. I want some drama to start. Well, let's talk about when America gets involved. Oh, America. We don't know exactly what the twist is going to be. We just know that America will have some involvement in it. And we don't always organize and vote correctly. There are lots of little subgroups, right? the casual viewers who don't see everything that we see is a large group of voters. There's a whole world that I hear about on Facebook that I don't go on Facebook, so I don't know them well, but they're a large voting block. If you guys hear noises, there's a dog making noises next to me. There's a ton of stands on Twitter. So I don't know. I don't know how this twist is going to go. Oh, well, okay, so I think it's going to be voting between two kinds of twists. That would be interesting. And I would be more into that than us like voting who gets a power or something like that. I mean, I do love to vote. Like, I love America's involvement, but we also mess things up quite well. Yeah. Sometimes we do, Jess. Sometimes we do. Okay, David asks, who's your winner pick right now? Well, it's too early to pick a winner, but I think that Tiffany, Claire, Derek X, and Kyland are probably playing the best game right now, for those four individually. So I'm hoping that maybe the winner is one of those four just from watching gameplay right now. But it's too early. We're not even to jury yet. A lot can happen. Tiffany has been kind of picking fights with people in the cookout. She started with Kylan. She got mad that Kylan had a close deal with Sarah Beth and some other deals. Last night, she got mad at Xavier for trying to keep the Kings safe. He tried to get Derek X to promise safety to all the Kings on the wall last night. And so she was sort of like, you know how she gets her little like tone, I guess I'll say, her little tone with Xavier last night. She's already got a thing with Azza. So if Tiffany like continues down that path, it does not matter how good her game is. Well, I mean, because her game is so good, if she picks a fight with everyone in the cookout or has a falling out with everyone in the cookout and her game is so good, they could easily take her out early, you know? So I can't pick her as a winner, even though she's playing a darn good game right now. It's just too early. Are Azza and Tiffany starting to repair their game relationship? No. They are repairing their personal relationship. They are doing their best to get along. They will joke around some, but they basically don't talk game anymore. They've sort of just decided, let's not even get involved with game. No. Feeds are not back yet, you guys, but that is basically it. Let me make sure, go over my notes that I didn't miss anything. Want to get a king out. Christian is the first choice. Plan B will be Sarah Beth. Brittany will be on the block, but she's going to be okay with it this time. Tiffany said Royal Flush it in front of Hannah. Hannah and Derek X on the outs. I don't want to say they're on the outs, but they're just not. They're not going to be close. Deal with Azza. Deal with Derek F. Claire clocked the cookout. Yep, that's it. Those are my notes from last night and today. Feed should be back in, when did they go down? Like 15, it's probably another 15 minutes. Feeds will be back. And we'll have Sarah Beth on the block for the very first time just this morning. She admitted to Derek X that she had no intention of winning this HOH because she feels safe with everybody. And so that's really interesting when you are now going to end the day on the block. Okay, sometimes that's how it works when you throw those comps. I am so not into this fight. Do not care about fighting in general, and I definitely don't care about this fight. But you guys enjoy that tonight if you are watching it. Yes, remember to hit that thumbs up. I super appreciate it, you guys. I always love talking to you guys live in the chat. Really appreciate it. And if anyone's joining me later, go ahead and leave me a comment. It helps the channel. And plus, I just like to hear what you're thinking, how you feel about this Derek X HOH, how you feel about possibly Christian being backdoored. Is he going to win that veto? Is he going to get a sense that he might be backdoored? Want to win it just in case? Who knows? Who knows, you guys? All right, I will be back on Monday. Oh, well, no, tomorrow I'll be back with Chantel for Survivor South Africa, but Monday's going to be a little bit earlier than usual. David is out of town, so Miranda is joining me. So I'll be live 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern on Monday. Make sure you're subscribed. You'll get that notification, and I'll see you guys then.